Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a reading vlog, and this reading vlog has a bit of a challenge to it because, to put it bluntly, I have a problem. And that problem has to do with my physical TBR. My physical TBR is frankly out of control. It's overrunning. I have no more room on my bookcase for my TBR. It is just taken over. And I'll show you what it looks like in a bit, but I have like 48 unread books physically on my TBR, and there's just no more room. So I've put myself on an official book buying ban, and the challenge I set for myself is for every 5 books on my physical TBR that I finish, I can buy 1 new book. So I have to read 5 of the books that I currently own until I can buy a new book, because it's become a problem. So far I have finished 3 books that I physically own, so I just have 2 more left, and so this video is not going to end until I finish those 2 books. So this might be a long one, it might be short, but I'm expecting it to be kind of a long vlog because I read very slowly. But yeah, I have one of the books picked out because I already started it. I don't have the other one picked out yet because I don't want to like start it and get it confused with each other. But the first one that I picked, which I'm already 50 pages into it, I started it last night and I read some of it today. The book is Monstrilio. I got it on vacation a while ago, like last year. Haven't picked it up, but I thought it would be a nice late October spooky read. So what this is about is it has a Spanish author, so it has a bunch of Hispanic influence. This is not a spoiler, it's literally the first sentence. The main character, Mago, her son, 11-year-old son, dies because he was only born with 1 lung, so he obviously had complications from that, but he dies, and so her and her husband Joseph are, you know, like beside themselves with grief, but they're grieving very differently. Joseph is grieving the more like socially acceptable way, like how we would normally consider grieving. Mago, her grieving consists of cutting open her dead son's body and cutting off a piece of his lung to put in a jar. It's not really normal, but you know, you're grieving, your son dies, what do you do? That's why it's a spooky read, because it gets dark. But so she gets the piece of lung, puts it in a jar, and so like her and her husband kind of fall apart. They're not really talking to each other, but because they're grieving so differently and not together, their relationship is suffering. And so because of that, Mago, she goes back to Mexico to stay with her mother, and while she's there, she meets up with the like kind of house cleaner, house caretaker, Jackie, who tells her this like legend or like folklore that if you feed, like if someone dies and you save a piece of them, if you feed that piece of them, that will grow into a new person, or it will grow into something else. And so Mago, because she is kind of bored, doesn't know what to do with herself, decides to feed this piece of lung from her son. And where I'm at now, 50 pages in, it had just started to turn into a creature. So it's like the size of a rat, and it's like has a little tail and doesn't have eyes, but it has like a little mouth. Creepy, a little grossed out, but you know, we're here for it. So I was having trouble picturing it, but I guess it looks like this guy right here. So that's happening. So weird concept, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. This is what I'm in the mood for. So that's what we're gonna go with. So that is my first read for this vlog. The second read, TBD, not sure yet, but whenever I do decide, I will show you and let you know. I will show you what my TBR looks like physically on my shelf and on my floor, because it's overrun. But besides that, probably play some video games, do some Halloween activities, just vibe with the spookiness, because it's October 28th. Halloween is coming, even though it's like 75 degrees outside. But we're gonna do it. Next month is my birthday month, so that'll be exciting. So yeah, let's get reading. Okay, so if you hear the air conditioner, I'm sorry. It's louder than normal because I'm having issues with it, but hopefully it won't be too big of a problem. So my physical TBR, let's see, I can actually shelve this one back because I was browsing for books yesterday. So it starts here with Babel, and then you can see there's some stacked up on the sides, and then it goes down at the bottom, and then it goes right there. So all in all, there's like 47, 48 books that I have physically unread, quite a lot. So I just have to read 2 more until I can buy a new book. The book that I'll probably be reading also in this vlog, well, like I said, to be determined, but I am leaning towards something like kind of spooky or like thriller. So I have a few contenders. Number 1 is The Paris Apartment. 2 is Girl on the Train. We have The Cabin at the End of the World. We have The Hacienda. We have What Big Teeth. So we have The Silent Patient, which I've heard is really good. So we have quite a few options, but yeah, TBD. Hi, before I do anything, don't look at my hair. It's really bad. But I filmed the previous parts almost 2 weeks ago. Don't really know what happened. Okay, update time. My plan was, when I recorded that first clip where I was talking about Monstrilio, my plan was to, because I was at the 50-page mark, my plan was to sit on the couch later that evening and read like another 50, 75 pages and then do an update. I did sit on the couch and read, but I finished the book in one sitting. So, and then I just did an update. So, sorry about that. But I finished it. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. Yeah, 4.5 stars. It was good. It definitely fit the theme of like Halloween, spooky, dark, a bit gruesome. So it definitely fit what I was looking for towards the end of the month, because it's November now. And so yeah, it was good. It definitely was, like, once you were able to get past all the blood and gore and dark themes, it definitely was a novel about grief and how that can affect people differently, and how we really shouldn't judge people on how they're grieving or say, oh, you're not grieving in the right socially acceptable way, because it's different for everyone and it looks different for everyone. So yeah, it was 4.5 stars. It was really good. I also read, since I last updated, I read the first volume of Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. I've had this for a little bit, but I was kind of looking for something not as much of a high stakes, so I picked this up. It's definitely, I would say, like cozy fantasy, which I'm not the biggest fan of the cozy part, but I still gave this 4 stars. It was cute, very like sentimental, just this young elf mage, and they, at the start of this manga, they have, her and her friends have, or her companions have defeated this like evil boss, and so the land is at peace again, and so they're trying to find what they should do next, and it just kind of follows her individual journey. But then of course she doesn't age and her friends do, so it's really just following like her realization that I'm going to lose these people and I should spend my time spending time with them. So definitely a little emotional, but it's also funny, surprisingly. But I don't know if this is a manga that I'm going to want to collect or if I just want to watch it. I think I will buy eventually like the next 2 volumes, because that's typically what I like to do when I'm not sure if I want to collect the whole series, is buy the first 3 and then see. But yeah, that's what I'll do. And then I also, last time you saw me, I also filmed what my TBR looks like, and I said that I wasn't sure what my next read was going to be. I have decided, and I promise I meant to update. It just didn't happen. But the book I ended up going with is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I am, let's see, I don't know if I'm not quite halfway through. I'm on page 160. It's a very fast read because the chapters are extremely short, because we have like 5 or 6 different POVs, which I appreciate, which is not the POVs, but the short chapters, because I can read more in one sitting. And it just feels like a shorter novel when you have short chapters. So what this is about, it's a thriller mystery. Our main character, Jess, she is kind of having bad luck. She had to quit her job. So she asked her brother or stepbrother if she can stay with him, because he's living in Paris, if she can stay with him until she gets back on her feet. He begrudgingly says yes, and so when she gets to his apartment, he doesn't answer. She manages to get in, and he just never turns up. So he is officially missing, and everyone in the apartment complex is very shady. Like, they know more than what they're telling. And Ben, her stepbrother, was a investigator, so she's beginning to question if he uncovered something in the apartment building, and now he's gone missing for it, or if, you know, he just disappeared on his own. So right now she is starting to go to the police and have them look into it. but I am really enjoying it. It has a 3.65 on Goodreads, which is a bit lower than a lot of thrillers, but and I can definitely see why it might be at a 3.6, but I'm enjoying it. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it yet because I'm not even halfway through, but I am enjoying it, mainly because I can read it so quickly. But this will be book 5 of my book buying ban. So once I finish The Paris Apartment, I can get 1 new book. I'm not just gonna go and browse. When I do finish this and go to the bookstore, which I will try and take you with me, I'm not gonna like browse for books. I'm gonna try, because I do have a digital TBR on my Goodreads that I'm going to try and go off of, so I can like start to narrow that down as well. I can show you that in a little bit. I'll pull it up on my computer. I don't know which one I'm gonna, it really just be what I can find in the store. But yeah, I really don't have it narrowed down. My cat likes to watch TV, by the way. So that's why she's up there. She wants me to turn the TV on. Calypso. Calypso. Hi. I want to see if she reaches up to the top of it. Okay, but anyways, I will definitely give an update whether I finish this book by next time or if I reach like the 250 page mark. I am definitely going to try and update in a reasonable time period. So yeah, I will show you my digital TBR. Okay, so this is my TBR, my digital TBR. These are books that I don't physically own, but I want to buy. I have 34 books on my digital TBR. I don't know, and you know, some of these aren't out yet, but like these first couple pages, all the books are out because they've been on here for a while. I'd like to maybe try to find, I know they're gonna have Evocation because that's a kind of new book. They'll have The Bright Sword, which is definitely sounds really interesting. It's like a King Arthur retelling, but it's like 600 pages, so I don't know if I'm up for that. Let's see. And The Will of the Many, I also really want to read, but it's also 600 pages. And some of these aren't out. This one, Don't Let the Forest In, I actually won a Goodreads giveaway like last week, so I'm actually they're going to be sending me a copy of this, which is super, super neat. Let's see. Actually, let's see. I have this one. I own this one, so I actually need to remove that from my digital one. Let's see. They'll probably have this one too. Because, like, with some of these books, since I've had them on my TBR for a while, they'll probably have this one too. They may not have some of them, especially if they're not like super popular, but I'll write all these down so I can go to the store or the bookstore whenever I finish The Paris Apartment, and I can just pick one of these out. Most of these are fantasy. We have a few sci-fi, a couple of literary fiction. I'm also really curious about Murakami, but the descriptions are just wild. But yeah, so I'll just have to see what the bookstore has, because not all of these will be in stock. But yeah, we will check it out. Good morning. It is Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. But I just spent the past 30 minutes finishing up The Paris Apartment, because I really wanted to finish it quickly so I could go ahead and get a new book. So I read the last half of it, or like last quarter of it, in one sitting. It was easy to read this quickly because of how short the chapters are. Some chapters are like 2 to 3 pages, which is really nice because it makes it easier to read. So during the first half of the book, it felt like a 4-star read, but then reading the second half, it definitely got bumped up to a 4.5, which was really nice, unexpected, honestly, because it has I think it's a 3.65 on Goodreads, so I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, which was nice. I can definitely understand why it's rated kind of low, but nothing was big enough of a problem for me to dock at any points or anything. So I really enjoyed it. The only thing that didn't make it a 5-star was that parts of it was like a little bit gimmicky, like the main character pulling a book off of the shelf and then a mysterious piece of paper comes out of the book and it's like a big clue. So that was a little bit of a gimmick, but it was still really good. Really fast paced, lots of different POVs, but the characters were distinct enough that I could tell them apart and didn't get confused with it. One thing I was impressed with, just for myself, was, it takes place in Paris, and so some of the characters spoke French a few times, and a few times I was able to understand what they said before the author put the translation in, because it's been more than 2 years since I've taken French, but I was able to understand at least a little bit of what they said. So that's my 5th book, so now it can be shelved and we can go to the bookstore. I don't know what book I'm going to get, because there's not one that I want more than another, so we'll probably just be spending a little bit of time of browsing. Yeah, I really don't know. There's definitely a few that I'm gonna look for, but since they're not new releases, they're a couple years old, I doubt that they'll have them. We're gonna go to Barnes & Noble. That's my bookseller of choice. But yeah, I'll take you along and we'll see what we find. Welcome to the end of this reading vlog. Why is it getting dark in here right as I start to record? Ignore the lighting change, it'll probably get bright again in just a second, but I don't know what's happening. It's like 3:30 and it's getting dark outside, but we're just gonna ignore that. Welcome to the end of the vlog. I'm ending it here because I accomplished everything that I wanted to. I finished 2 books, which ended up being, so it was like those 2 books completed my 5 books where I could buy a new one. So you saw me go and pick out one. The one I ended up picking out was The Water Outlaws. I believe it's like a retelling of Mulan or Mulan adjacent story. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what I am kind of picking up on. I don't think I'm going to read it right away, just because I have other things I want to read before that, but that's what I ended up picking. I have gotten some manga, but doesn't really count towards this goal of mine. But yeah, so I finished Monstrilio, I finished The Paris Apartment, and I got a new book. And both Monstrilio and The Paris Apartment were 4.5 stars. So pretty good, pretty surprising. But it was good. It was a good time. So I'm gonna end this here, and I will see you next time. Bye.